line out off your spool and let your lure go back. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So today on this video we're going to show you how to set up and use a downrigger when you're trolling for fish. I'm fairly new to the fishing, and I learned a lot of tips and tricks that I want to share with the viewers and subscribers to this channel. So anyway, let's get set up and let's get fishing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lower the little motor here and tie it to the big motor for trolling. I'll show you how to do that as well. Might as well. And then we'll get the downrigger set up here. So what we want to do is lower this, connect the gas line, put it a little bit, put it down in the water some. Tighten that back up. And then we can click this little arm here. It goes on the ball bearing of the big motor here. And then it clips. You want to turn to the left? There. Okay, so that's on. We can leave the big motor where it is. And we will make sure this is in neutral. Pull the choke out. We'll give this a couple pulls to make sure it's in neutral. Oh, I should pump the primer ball. Forgot that. There we go. Just let that warm up for a few seconds. I always like to start this motor first before shutting off the big motor, just for safety reasons, but you don't have to. And see, with that, if you've watched a couple other videos on this outboard motor, you'll see that I can control the speed of it from the helm. This, you can still override it by warming it up at the back of the boat too, so it kind of comes in handy. So we'll kick it back to idle, we'll knock it into gear. So now Michelle can speed up a little bit with the kicker motor. There we go. Perfect. And now you can shut the big motor off. And you could trim the big motor. Actually, I could probably put this, no, it's okay. It's okay, leave it there. I'll put this one just a little bit further in the water. There we go. There we go. And now we can steer the trolling motor with the big motor. Okay, let's get to hooking up the downrigger. So, a couple things on the downrigger. You've got your ball. The ball is just connected directly to the downrigger line, and then there's basically a tab. There's a tab on the back here. You can pull it and swivel the unit out. Now most of these are the same. It's Scotty or Canon. The Scotty has a bit of a different clip here to turn it, but they're pretty much the same. So what we want to do is we want to put our lure that we want to use for the day, which is going to be this fancy watermelon looking thing. We want to make sure it's sitting right, because that scenario would be bad. We You want to make sure the hook is down and behind it, like that. We can clip it onto our swivel, which is the line going to the rod. And we're going to get the clips. So there's a clip that connects to the downrigger line. It's right in here. So we're gonna let a little bit of line out here. Not much though, or weight. There we go. Just so that's just touching the water. And this clip here just simply clips onto the line. It's just like that. Not much to it. Now this little clip here, you want to set this so that it releases from your line. So what you do now is, in your left hand, you put your lure in the water, you let it start to trail back. You still want to hold on to your rod line and have either your drag or bail up. Here's the little clip that's connected to the downrigger steel line. You're gonna pull some line out off your spool and let your lure go back. I do like at least 15 to 20 something feet. Sometimes I even go farther. Okay. Now, how far you set this line up towards this part will determine how easy this gets pulled off. So the idea is when a fish bites the lure, this pulls out, and now you're only fighting the fish. You're not doing anything with the downrigger. So you want to, I'd put about a quarter ways up. Quarter to maybe half. We've got a fairly large lure on there today, so maybe halfway. And then you can let go of that assembly. You've got your clip connected to your stainless steel rod on your downrigger. Your lure is connected through that clip, your line. You've got your bail released so the line can go out. Now we're gonna lower. Here's our counter here. It says 3. Well, it's not 3 feet right now. Michelle, how far can we go down right now that you're seeing fish?
Right now about 60, 70.
60 or 70 feet. So we're gonna watch this counter and watch this line here. Now it's gonna take your line down to that 60 or 70 feet. $60, $70. So now we want to flip the bail off. Now what we want to do is we want to tension this line. So we're putting a whole bunch of tension on that clip right now that's connected to the downrigger line, so that when the fish hits that lure, this rod basically springs straight and you know you have a fish on. Obviously, if there's really small fish, you have to watch because sometimes they don't trigger it, depending on how far you put that clip on your main line on your rod. So that's kind of how the setup is. We're down 70 feet. We've got the rod tension pretty tight. The kicker motor is running us out there, and we're gonna check and see what we're seeing fish at. So if you can see that, so we're showing some pretty good fish, 50 to 75 right here. This is the actual ball of the downrigger has come down, and you'll see that's creating that disturbance in the water. So that's the height that the actual lure is sitting at, somewhere between 50 and 100. So I'd say about 70 to 75 feet is where our lure is. These are fish. What's that?
That's where, when you asked me, then you put it down.
Yeah. So I think we're good with this setup. We've got another rod out on this side here with, we're just trolling the surface on that side. So this one's set up, and that's it. So we'll, when we're gonna check the lure, I'll tune back in here and I'll show you how we release it from the line and pull the line up to reset it. So it just released. We can see we got a fish on. Yeah. So you leave the downrigger down. You don't have to bring it up right away. You want to get the fish in first and release it if it's something that you can't keep. Looks pretty small. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Move the rod this way. Oh, it's a nice rainbow trout. Okay, so we've had some interesting movement on the rod, but you can see it's still tensioned, which means it may be a small fish that hasn't released the clip. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the rod now and we're gonna pull it off the clip. So we've released it from that clip. We're gonna reel it in and check the lure now and make sure there's nothing on it. Doesn't feel like there's anything on it. Once you see the lure and know that there's no fish on it, you can stop because you're gonna have to let line back out again anyway, right? I can see already that the lure has nothing on it. Right, you can see that out there. And the hook is pointing down, which is good, so that's what we want. So we can move the rod into the boat where you've got the tip. Now you can grab the line, have the bail on, and then you want to put the rod into the holder. And like we did before, we want to let out some line, let that lure trail back behind the boat for a bit. And then there's either a button underneath or on the side of, if it's a Scotty downrigger, now we can bring up our clip and our weight from the 75 feet. And you want to stop once you see that stainless clip that's on the line come out of the water. There it is there. So we're going to take our clip again now, and we're going to clip it onto the line again, about somewhere between quarter and halfway, so we can tension it. Let that go back out. Make sure your bail is flipped so that you can let out line, and we can actually drop this back down again. We're 3 feet again, so we can go back to 70 again, Michelle. Nothing on the sonar right now. Let's go down to 70 and then maybe we'll turn around and go back through where we saw those fish. So now you can let it back out. So there's 70. Flip the bail, set the tension. So it's nice and tight. There you have it. We're trolling again. So your lure is down. Your lure is dragged down on the line to 70 feet and it's trailing out behind the boat off that clip. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Maintenance with Mike. So that's how to set up a downrigger, whether it be a Scotty downrigger or a Canon downrigger or another brand. That's just a generic way that I set up a downrigger with the clips and the weights, and it seems to work quite well for us. If you have any ideas or some tips that I should do differently, maybe mention something in the comments, because like I said, I'm fairly new to fishing, so this is what I've sort of figured out what works. If you like these videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Share them with a family member or friend. Give it a thumbs up, and happy fishing. Cheers.